Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo channel. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm going to do a general message for you. And obviously, it's a Virgo channel, so I'm doing a Virgo message. Now, know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed, but what I've always found is that the message always goes to the person that needs to hear the message. That's just the way that it goes. You're a magnet of who and what comes into your life. So again, the universe is always bringing you things to support you. So when we say energy is fluid, roles can be reversed. You may resonate with the message good, but your person that may be a cross watcher resonates with it even more because they need to hear the message. They don't understand why everything's happening, right? So that's why uh, the energy works the way that it does. It's like we're a mirror of whom what comes into our life. Now you may say, then why do I keep attracting the same undesirable life experiences when I don't really feel that I am that? I'm not a mean person. I'm not a manipulative person. I always try and, do the right thing in relationships, but I never get people that are genuine. And they say you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. Well, on this channel, I like to dive deep. So I look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blocks and the shadows because, again, they do play out as karmic themes. And karmic themes, when they're not healed, continue to play out. They continue to play out within our relationships. So if you're someone that has gone through trauma and hasn't healed it, well, what you'll notice is there will always be aspects of the person that created the trauma in other relationships because you didn't learn how to master that connection, that type of relationships. And so karmic connections aren't just, with our soulmates, people that we desire, and people that we have a connection to. It's also our parents, our siblings, the people that touched our lives when we were growing up. It's people that come into our lives that show us a different perception. And that's really what healing is. Healing is about seeing a different perception and also integrating and grounding that perception, grounding it so you can transmute the negative energy. When we go through negative experiences, that negative energy doesn't just disappear because you're out of the situation. Even if you did learn, you have to, again, do something with the energy. The energy is held in the body and is held in the body as stress. And because your body is your mind's faithful servant. So again, we're continuously always manifesting, whether we know it or not. So again, we can fake it by wearing a mask and pretending that we're healed. But again, the universe always knows. The universe is God, the universe is ubiquitous, and that energy is inside of us. And when we're balanced and grounded, we are the energy of unconditional love. However, we all have shadows that we're unconscious to, and we have formed habits and behaviorisms that are in alignment with those core beliefs. So healing with the new awareness is obviously essential. But again, you are the alchemist of your life. So a lot of times you'll have to ground and embody the new consciousness. And that is reliant only on you. You can bring the horse to water, you can't make them drink. So, and I may tell you something that you may not like within your connection, which is usually the case because you're dealing with people that have spiritual blocks where they get in their own way. They sabotage the connection. They have psychological reversals. They don't mean to do what they do a lot of times. However, what they do is sabotage the connection and trigger us. Now, no one could trigger anyone unless there were shadows. So again, healing to get a different outcome, to attract different types of people that are on a higher vibration, people that are not just coming from a place of fear and survival, obviously. Well, we have to heal ourselves. So let's see what the word of the video is. I want you to know my feet are right by a heater because it is freezing. just so cold. Floridians don't have thick enough blood for this cold, cold weather. All right. Impatient. That's the underlining energy. And we're gonna pull another one just to get a little bit a little bit of a perception because I feel like, well, we haven't gotten that word in a while, but we're getting words like betrayal. So fanatical, fanatical. See, this your person has stayed away from you not 100% for the reason that you think. I feel like this person knows that they sabotage the connection with you. And they've been waiting and they've been waiting and they've been waiting, hoping that you've been going to reach out to them. Thing is that this person won't reach out unless they can like really give you something like over the top behavior, like come in and like buy your car. You know what I mean? Do something that's so over the top. And I feel like it's because this person I feel knows that they sabotage the connection. Now I feel like for a long time they really thought that you were going to come back. You gave this connection a lot of attention, and there was always a spiritual connection. So this person, I feel like, really thought that they didn't have to do any work. That they did. So now what's happened is they finally have got it through their head that you're not coming back. That's that's what it is. And they're getting impatient because the longer that time is, going by, the more of a chance that you're not going to be in this person's life, which is why they feel as if they have to do like over the top behavior in order to win you over. This person doesn't have a good sense of self. So, like I said, the underlining energy is impatient. So I feel that they're acting from a more emotional standpoint, right? Because they've had a lot of time to think about what they did. They had a lot of time to compare you to other people. They've had a lot of time and to even look for things that, again, maybe you're not as good as you say that you are. Let me check the internet. Let me talk to a few friends. Let me do my investigation because it would almost be easier for this person to just cut you off and be like, I'm never going to come back. But that's not really what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like this person is thinking so much, thinking, thinking, thinking. And what happens? When you think a lot, it creates a lot of emotion. And the thing is that this person sometimes thinks about how they treated you and they get angry, but they get angry more at themselves. And almost like I have to do something. I have to do something. And then there's also the pride, which is, well, now if I like reach out, it's like I'm really got to come back with my head, held in my hand, because they wasted a lot of time. They stayed away from you. And I feel like part of that was a game. Part of that was, I don't really want to be subservient to you. I don't really know what I want. So again, they expected you to again come back. And I feel like this person never really gave you what enough to feel comfortable. Like I said, they're looking back and they're seeing how they treated you. And there's also like this a little bit of arrogance and anger, like that they really don't feel like they should have to do that because you might have known that they were in a previous connection, they were going through a rough time, they're going through a rough time. There's some excuse, but it's just to avoid accountability is what I feel. So again, like it's almost like triggering this person because they miss you, they have passion, they're I'm thinking about how I treated you, like I took it too far. I see that you're not coming back. By now you would have been back, trying to stalk your life. If your life looks a little too good on social media, well, again, this is triggering this person. And so part of it is their own guilty conscience. And then another part of it is that you're not giving nothing. You're not giving anything. And it's finally dawned on this person. And I feel like they were narrow-minded for a long time. In in fantasy land, always assuming that you were going to come back, because we have this connection and there's like a lot of passion. And though that I don't really feel like the passion was 100% experienced, I feel like maybe there was a kiss, maybe there was something that, again, there was a lot of energy, like magnetic energy between you two. But this person acted like a narcissist again and didn't really want to give. They held back. They normally form attachments, and you weren't coming in offering like to give of yourself. And so I feel like this person, uh, they're prideful. They're prideful. They played a lot of games. They want what they want. And understand attachment is going to feel comfortable to a person that is someone that's very insecure, that needs the constant confirmation, that the relationship's in good standing point, that they're desirable, that they're someone that needs that. Again, an attachment is someone that's probably not getting that much emotionally from this person, just because that, again, in their mind, this is what a normal relationship looks like. It's because they didn't just become prideful with you. They didn't just come across as a narcissist with you. I feel like that was their way. That was their way. The problem is during separation, this person again fantasized a lot about you, even though they were narrow-minded, where I feel like it's my way or the highway. I expect you to, come back, so I really shouldn't have to do anything. We have a connection, then I shouldn't have to prove myself. But then again, which everything that this person, I feel like, did was just to make excuses to not really have to be accountable. I feel like this person is someone that, like they always came across like they didn't know what they wanted, you know, um, and I say that it's like flighty, like, but then it's also because they were going in and out of your life and they weren't being transparent with you, like having secrets. So I feel like you were like, what for? It's like you didn't, like, you're not making me feel comfortable enough. I feel like this person had a lot of options at one time. And then it's like this person didn't want to be accountable. They never really wanted to be asked about anything about relationships. So when you would tell them, like, hey, like, I want to know what's going on, or like, why the in and out? Why aren't you giving me anything? Like, you're giving me enough to, like, like a breadcrumb. And it's like, then this person would twist things around and they would judge you, where you felt like your feelings and your emotions were constantly being judged by this person, where they would say that that's what you were doing, where it's like, I just think that they were trying to manipulate, meaning like you were saying, you're not giving me what I need because emotionally you don't show up for me. You're flighty. You don't really know what you want. You always seem to have one foot out the door, and you're not transparent with me. You hold secrets. Um, Either, but just by not being transparent, but also just because this person I don't feel like is emotionally intelligent. But nevertheless, I feel like they were very comfortable in being in this player type energy. And then what had wind up happening was, it's like this person what actually got, like, because you weren't sleeping with them. Like, and what you got tired of is you got tired of, like that you always felt like this person was cheating. And it was cheating because they were saying like they were a dry spell, like there was a lack of like sex in the connection, where you're like, well, I don't like lead with that. Like in the connection, you have to get to know me first. And what you're showing me is that you're in and out, that you don't really know what you want. I feel like this person was trying to like manipulate you to trigger you so that you would form the attachment, right? When a person comes in and out of your life, there's a sense that it's almost like you're the rat. And you know that scientist that every time they rung the bell, the rat got a piece of cheese, but after a while, when the scientist rang the bell, the rat didn't get the cheese. Like, but it would sit there and wait for the cheese. Like, and so like every time the scientist would ring the bell now, like the rat would get like cheese like 1 out of 10 times, but the rat was trained, and it's emotional manipulation. But it's also um psychological abuse, where the person is like trying to make you devalue yourself because you're sitting there waiting on them. You've grown an emotional attachment for them. They're not consistent. They get to do what they want. Here it is. You're like, again, but that's not what happened. What you saw is that this person's like flighty. You don't really seem like you want a connection. So I feel like you kind of flipped the switch where again, then this person blamed you, and where it's like where you're like, I got tired of taking all the blame when it's not my doing. Like it's not my doing. I'm just reacting to what you're doing. So again, what we see here is that the person doesn't care whether they hold on to you through, the fact that you're going to fight with them and you're going to create drama. Again, that tells this person, oh, see, I'm desirable to you. That's good. Or whether or not you're just going to be with them so fast and like become subservient. So like those are your options, which is completely unfair, especially for a person that you feel like always has an exit plan, like has 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That's why this person feels like that they need to come in with over the top behavior. I feel like you might even if you said, I didn't even talk to this person every day, understand if there's a spiritual connection, they can feel when you're around, right? I mean, you have a past life connection. So a person can feel you. And the truth of the matter is, as time goes by, if the person's not giving you anything, you're disconnecting, but a lot of people do not. A lot of people stay like holding a space for this person. Now, it doesn't mean that you didn't date, but your mind still thought of this person. Your emotions are still connected to that person. So that person could feel that. And here it is, they're cocky. They're expecting you to be a certain way because they get their way. And it's because they go into the connection very confident, again, but very narrow-minded and never really being transparent. This isn't the first time that they've, had this type of connection where like they're in a power struggle. I mean, they just play a few games. They hold back and they stay in they're manifesting too. Because there's passion there. There's an attraction there. So how do you manifest? Through the thoughts that you think, the emotions that you have, but this person keeps it at this low vibration because it's the emotional maturity that when a person shows up for you that builds the connection, right? Relationships are something that happen over time. Intimacy is the main ingredient of it is trust. And this person like doesn't have, you don't have that with this person, but they're sitting there fantasizing about you, like I said. So this is why they also want to come in, like I said, like doing grande. I need to be over the top, fanatical. I'm going to be fanatical over it. I'm going to be like I'm going to treat you like you're a queen or a king. I'm going to be like over the top because, again, of the lack that this person gave and also how they feel about themselves. And you just were like, it must be like you never really let go of anyone. Like the display of affection that they have towards a former partner, where it's like, to me, I don't know if this is a partner. For some, I believe it's like just a friend, like a person that is like a work friend or a person that's like a friend, where it's like you can show intimacy that way with that person, but you're not showing it with me. No, this person doesn't have a problem showing it with people that they don't have an emotional connection to. Because then it's like a little phony. It's like how they get in, is how they show that they're like, oh, kind of cool. Like, hey girl, how you doing? Like, so what are you doing? Like they're comfortable with you. Again, I feel like you make them nervous. And that's again something that happens when a person doesn't really believe that they are deserving of love, or their past relationships don't look good. They feel inadequate with themselves. So it brings up all their insecurities. So, but what this person will do again is show like act as if they can have that with other people. Meanwhile, when they were in a relationship with the past lover, well, let me tell you, the past lover wasn't getting anything. So it's almost like now that you're out of my life, I don't have a problem being nice to you. I don't have, which again, it's a little phony. It's like again, like, oh, everything is fine and my life is great, and yeah, like it's loosey goosey, but this person normally is not loosey goosey. They're a control freak, and like I said, so they were deliberately trying to trigger your insecurities because again, then you're going to give them the attention. Yeah, now someone else is there. So again, but then it shows that your insecurity and you just felt like you had enough of the abusive treatment, like where you're like you're gonna like it's always you, first of all, your way or the highway, the narrow-mindedness. It's like this narcissistic energy of you don't really care how you treat me because you're not building the emotional connection to me, and you don't really care how I stay connected to you. I can fight with you just as long as there's this attachment that you're draining me, because that's what you're comfortable with. But it's all about you fantasizing about me because yeah, there's chemistry, but and there when there's a spiritual connection, the person feels like home. But if you haven't taken the time to get to know, then this person is thinking that you're really the person that's in their imagination, which is narrow-minded. And so this is why they're flighty, because and act like they don't really know what they want. Again, they don't know what they want, not knowing what they're doing. Again, because and so, but coming in and wanting you to be ready. So it's like, again, I want that love, I want that love, but what is it showing? I don't really feel that I'm deserving of it. Now, so it was almost like you had to detach. You had no choice because it was like this person just wanted to like keep me like stuck, like hooked. So let's look at some of the things that they need to heal. And then we'll look and see what they're planning on doing, if anything. And then we'll see why you attracted this person into your life. Like, what's the whole spiritual significance? Why did you have to be attracted? Well, right now, again, they're stressed out, as I said, because they're impatient, because they're like, oh, well, time's run up, like, well, I don't even know if like time's up or anything like that. I think it's just like a long time. Normally, we don't talk for like, it started off like a week, and then it went 2 weeks, and then one time it was a month, and then it was 3 months, and then one time it was 6 months, but it's never been like over a year. And now it's like reaching like over like close to a year for some of you, over a year or a few years, where this person is like, oh, like you're not coming back. Like that they were like again playing a game. They were in their mind thinking, oh, fantasizing about how this thing was gonna play out, and what they're seeing is it's like that's not happening. Again, and it's because they were in their old habits for a long time, where didn't want to settle down. really was in their ego. And again, I mean, right now it doesn't really say what those habits were, but I just feel like somebody that didn't want to grow up, the fear of the change of not wanting to be in a relationship and addictions. I didn't want to say that just because habits, like that is always addictions, but you always kind of feel like it's addictions with somebody that has this avoidance style behavior and now is like it has anxiety and it was more in fantasy land, you know, that now also thinks that they're not enough. And this is why a person, tends to drink and why they again really have to overcompensate, feel that they need to overcompensate in order to win you back. This is what happens when a person's not strong within themselves. But then we're going to see all the things that go with alcoholism, which is, or drug addiction, which is avoidant. It's gonna be very impulsive energy. It's going to be sometimes like attachment. Again, that's what feels normal, right? Which because attachment is codependency. It is where they don't have to emotionally show up. A lot of times they just have money and they can like give you money and you'll be happy with that. But no one's happy with that. It's they are okay with compartmentalizing, which means not thinking about you if they have to deal with something else. Like they can't like they won't let themselves be emotionally vulnerable. So they're always strategizing. So again, so sometimes they're cold, or they could come across as if they're calculating. So like again, that's what goes with the addiction. The person tends to be calculating and strategizing because again, they don't feel like they can come from their true self because again, they don't like who they are. They don't feel like it's good enough. No one's saying that at this point to them. Because again, they grew up that way in that environment and have stayed in this place of the habits that keep them stuck to those core beliefs of how relationships are supposed to be, which again is very narrow-minded. So again, they could have grown up in a very codependent home where the parents were like it wasn't balanced. And it's what's familiar. What's familiar is comfortable, even though it becomes uncomfortable, because again, there's a fear of change. And what this person saw is, well, there was this dry spell where they didn't get any like right that would lack a sexual connection over time because you're not giving into that. You're not leading with that, where it's not that there isn't a connection, but again, unless you're throwing yourself and you're showing this person the signs of someone that is going to be real codependent and someone that has anxious attachment, you know, like style, that's which is unhealthy, someone that has anxiety, that's afraid of abandonment all the time. This person doesn't feel important, strong enough. Where I always think like I just feel like it would be hard to be in a connection with a person like this. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they get intimidated. They get intimidated if you're just coming from your true sense of self, right? You're someone that didn't back down. This person tried to intimidate you. You're not intimidating. This person is intimidated because again, they don't come from their a sense of balance. You're the reminder of how their life should be. If they were really to step into their divine counterpart, that they are like they would be your divine counterpart. If they stepped into their divine energy, I should say, they would be your divine counterpart. where it's like, but you intimidate them because you require them to rise, and you saw right through their BS. Where again, normally this person is slick, they get away with it. So again, in the time, and you didn't give in to them sexually. So they've been fantasizing. Everybody knows a fantasy is again, is so they're like manifesting in their mind what they perceive it's gonna look like, and that's, it's not real. It's due to trauma, like I said. Well, so I feel like right now, when I said, where are they now? What are they doing now? Spirit says, again, they're stressed out, addictions, stuck in their old habits, trauma, thinking about you, thinking about the situation, and they're intimidated by it. And I think just intimidated by you, because how are they gonna, like, what are they gonna say? They can't really say anything. But just because they did that doesn't mean that, like, they haven't had an epiphany, doesn't mean that they don't have feelings, doesn't mean none of that. You have to realize it's that the person is in avoidant, that's what they're doing, but they feel like obviously that they sabotage the connection to the point that they have to be so over the top to come back in. Let's see, why aren't they doing that? Because it's like that to me is another thing. Because why are you there? You want to do this, but why are you doing that? And it's again, there's a reason why. What's the perception? Again, frozen heart. So again, this person, like, again, has barriers, like, to, like, it's like they're afraid, due to their past experience. They never been in a connection with somebody that is equal, give and take. They're used to being people that are on a lower vibration, not very confident. But again, nothing holds them, I feel like, meaning they don't stay fulfilled. And so that's why it was easy for them to be in that type of energy. And thought that, hey, well, you were just another person that it was going to play out the same way. And it didn't. Clouded vision. Just again, like there was like, I feel like they know. They don't think that they can fix it. They think that your vision is clouded. It's because again, of all the red flags, like there's like the awareness. So this person, like, again, knows that they have recreated this, um, self-fulfilling prophecy of not believing that they're deserving of love, pretty much. And we know that alcoholics they don't love themselves. They reject parts of themselves. I know my dad was an alcoholic, and he was the nicest guy that you'd ever want to meet, skipped grades in school, but he did not like himself. He felt that he wasn't deserving, and that's all that it takes. Again, secret desires, like this person has, like, is too afraid to be vulnerable. It's like they do have like secret desires. It's again where they're not sharing how they feel. Like I said, they're creating the illusion because they don't think that they can fix it. They think that um your vision is clouded, like your vision is clouded, but they wouldn't, if they didn't have wounds to begin with, they wouldn't think this, they wouldn't care. You know what I mean? They would make it be known about their desire. So this person is more afraid about rejection, that they're more afraid about rejection, almost because then they can't, because then they can't hide anymore. Then they're exposed. You see, then they're exposed. So, and once they're exposed, well, yeah, see, this person feels like they missed their chance. And that they know they're the holding back is that they're missing their chance. They know that. And it's again, it's like they're trying to, like, almost like suppress it. but it's temporary. It's through like, drinking, drugs, pills. It's like a distraction. It's a distraction so that they can stay in the illusion of that maybe it's gonna like work out, which a lot of alcoholics do. It's like they get stuck in the past or not just alcoholics, but that drug, um, when they form attachments, this person forms attachments themselves. That's why they need to be with a person that's gonna kind of be very codependent, kind of be the fixer, the codependent one, the enabler. Um, Look the other way. That's why they're narrow-minded. It's like they hold on to that. But what we see here is the avoidant, and because they would rather stay in their old habits, where Spirit's saying it's a way that they don't have to, but it is that there is a desire to be with you, but you're on a much higher vibration, is what Spirit's saying. It's like this person would always require you to take a step down, like, because you can't be intimidated and be with someone. So again, they need to like resolve. They know it's like they need to heal the unresolved conflicts. And they're actually angry about it. They feel guilty, but they're angry. Like it's again, you can see this. A woman looks angry. Like it's like where it's turbulent because of them. They've created it. So instead of fixing it, what they do is they suppress it with their drugs. And it's because again, this person like is really head over heels for you. They really have strong feelings for you, but they have blocks and loves. It's like they get in their own way, literally. So I mean, does that mean that that's what they feel? No, those are more blocks that is Spirit saying. What you see here is like the avoidant behavior. We see where their blocks are. We see how their behaviorism, that they're holding back because they feel like I can't really fix it. Um, and stuck in the past, anxiety about the future, don't have a good sense of self. This person doesn't like who they are, but really, God doesn't make junk. The universe doesn't make junk. We're not here by mistake. We're here by God's grand design. We all have purpose. And so, again, someone told this person. I also believe it's just the way that they feel. But a lot of times when people grow up in a certain environment where they're told that they should be someone else, or there's expectation, and those expectations aren't met, or the person just is like seen as bad or shamed, where no one is that, but the core belief of that are those blocks to love, the psychological blocks. The drinking is just a behaviorism. It's like, alcoholism. The alcohol is just like, sneezing. What sneezing is to the flu, it's a symptom, you know. But what we see here is avoidance, and what we see here is fantasizing and wasting time and procrastinating and playing games and a lot of things like that. Where understand they're learning, they're in a place of learning at least, because what they're learning is all this manipulation didn't get them anywhere. The mask is coming off. It's really at this place again, this person knows that they have to be like express their truth. They it's like they're holding back, they're doing everything to hold back, to suppress the way that they feel, but they know that they have to express their truth. It's like it's a feeling. And it's like because they don't want to do it and they're so afraid to do it and they don't know how to do it. They like again, I keep saying that. It's like they keep getting in their own way. It's like stuck and stupid. And, the fight, flight, freeze. Well, again, that's that second chakra, that first and second chakra. Really, that first chakra is the adrenals. That is what controls the automatic nervous system. And this person is not grounded. They don't know who they are. They're not comfortable in who they are. And what they do is they do a lot of avoidance and addictions. And then after they, sabotage, get in their own way, but they get in their own way because they don't really believe that they can have it, like they said. And it doesn't really matter because the result is that, but it sometimes helps us to see that, that the person doesn't mean to. It's just they get in their own way. There are obstacles. They want to fix things. They're always trying to send out energy to you. But like I said, you make them nervous. You make them nervous. It's like, and this person really can't stand the thought of you being with someone else. It really doesn't mean what they say. But they have a lot of inner demons that they haven't healed, and so until they heal them, it's always going to be stuck in a repetitive cycle. And understand this person just runs from their problems. It's like they didn't want you to move on from them. It's like I feel like this person really needs to heal. It's like they even need to heal their mental health, even though, listen, they could have been a divine counterpart. That's what they felt. I feel like that's what you felt too. And there's nothing more that this person will want than a second chance, but they're toxic and they can't help it. They can't help it. It's because they need to heal. But again, it can't just be about the chemistry. It's again that passion because it's built up a lot in their imagination. And that's really what it is. This person, I think it will eventually come to you because it's almost like then they would say, I'm done playing games. I feel lost without you. But understand there's a part of this person too that was wearing rose-colored glasses because they haven't taken the time or the energy to get to know you. So they're in love with the person that they've imagined, and that's not someone that's going to be subservient to every little thing that this person wants and go along with it. A relationship that teaches balance through compromise and shared experiences, and the depth is what would make the connection. But this person can't go that far. That can't go that deep. It's too scary for them. They have too many addictions, too many things that they do, too much things that need to be healed for them. But it doesn't mean that they don't desire you. And it doesn't mean, but we see why they've held back. Now, well, see, why did you attract this person into your life? Well, I feel like number one, it was unlock DNA. That the card was flipped up. No other card was flipped up. So it's again, I felt like I needed to take it. So I always feel like there's no mistakes. And I feel like unlocking DNA is when you're breaking generational karma. So the breaking that generational karma and that ancestral karma, family karma. And so, it's our environment that create our reality because we form habits and behaviorisms built on that. So when you're with somebody that, has this much trauma, unfortunately, they're toxic until they heal. They can't help it. They don't love themselves. So they can't love you. And Spirit says, so some of your parents were married to an alcoholic, or again, someone that did drugs, someone that was avoidant. So you not repeating that would be unlocking your DNA, because it's your habits and your behaviorisms that turn your DNA on and off. See, sickness and disease is only 5% inherited, but when you live the same types of experiences and you form the same habits and behaviorisms to deal with what's happening in the environment, well, that's when you wind up getting sick. That's when you inherit the imbalances of your ancestors, or again, your family, wherever that behaviorism was taught, whatever the karmic theme was of that, like whoever experienced it in your family. All right, so and then discipline popped out. And so Spirit says, again, you needed to discipline. And I feel like become your own self, true self, because you didn't have security and safety. So if you didn't have security and safety and you had to figure that out as a child, well, then you couldn't be in the creative minds. Now, the child that survives is what thrives. So you did have imagination, you do have creativity, you are intuitive. However, those things don't really work that well if you're not healed of certain things that you needed to heal, which was again security and safety, which is that your security and your safety comes from yourself. And that's by becoming yourself. And that's also through connecting to other people that are like-minded, that are going to give you support. But it was really here, security and safety always is about your own financial success at this point in time, because what the home that you live in, the food that you eat, the things that you need to survive is really security. So you again would have to be able to be self-sufficient in that manner. And the safety is listening to yourself, understanding like it doesn't matter if somebody in the environment is an alcoholic and but like you don't have to, fix it. Even if you grew up in an alcoholic family, where again, that's when people wind up in Al-Anon, and it's because, like I said, the codependency is what is inherited, because you're not the drinker, you would be the fixer, you would be the person that was in an attachment with someone that emotionally wasn't showing up for you, so someone that avoids their problems, someone that doesn't work through their problems. So that would be really not good. Again, you wouldn't get any support, and that was already what happened. So emotional support, abandonment, avoidance, abandonment, person doesn't show up because they're not even there for themselves. I mean, listen, they're in fantasy land. We're in fantasy land this whole time, thinking that their connection was gonna just kind of magically work out. And then what happened is now they're fantasizing on how bad that things would be. This person's never in their body. They're stuck in their trauma. They didn't give you support. And abandonment of self is how you betray yourself, because Spirit says that I live inside of you as a gift of the Holy Spirit. You can manifest anything that you want. That's your gift. Your spiritual sovereignty is that if you can imagine it, you can create it, and then put all your energies towards creating it. You have to discipline yourself, though. Discipline yourself. And you're no longer in a place of survival, where at one time you were in survival mind, so you couldn't do it then. Survival, it means I need to do what I need to do right here and right now. It's like, again, not find my path, not find my truth. And Spirit says, well, now it's again about that. And imagination, like I said, the child that survives thrives. So that's actually a gift, where Spirit says, I need you to pull on your spiritual gifts now, because again, when you were abandoned and there was no support, well, again, that's traumatic for a kid, obviously. So what do? They check out. So again, in the imagination, so Spirit says, again, imagine what you want. Imagine what you want in order to create that security and safety for yourself. It's like, but also ground it. But also, don't just imagine it. Also put your energies towards it. Don't abandon yourself. Show up for you. Love you. Then you can attract someone that will love you. And you can always recognize them when someone doesn't really love, or someone loves, but they're not capable because, again, of how they're acting. And that's really what this is. This person's not capable of it, that they're not. It's, again, resilience. Again, growing up in an alcoholic family or drug addiction family, or family that they just not available. Well, children are resilient, and that is, again, a factor that you did acquire, the trait that you did acquire, because hey, you get turned away a lot, like in life. And what you saw was, hey, I don't have the support. No one's gonna give me the support. I have to do it myself. So again, I have to be resilient, and I have to do it again and try again and try again and get back and try again and try again and try again and find my way. Again, no one's going to be there. And Spirit says, well, those are gifts. Use your imagination and your resilience, which are gifts that you both like formed in childhood, and channel that into, again, building your security, your financial security, your security, again, that's going to emotionally give to you, not just financially, but again, that's what it means, not just working a job, maybe like networking and joining things to, again, that's where support comes from. Support comes from people in your environment, the people that you visit and you patronize every time. And when you get a haircut, your hairdresser, when you your butcher, if you have one, your esthetician, your coach, your teacher, your, again, people that are helping you to build your life. That's where the support comes from. It's like relationships happen over time. The people that you intermingle with through these different things that you join to create the support also give you support, where Spirit's saying that's what's going to bring you a brighter horizon. And again, and you're going to acquire like fear strength, not that you haven't shown fear strength, but really that's what it is. The Spirit's saying it's about understanding that no one can take what's yours. It's about going with the flow of, regardless of what's happening, because no one can take what's yours, only you can. So it's about, once you create that support and that structure by not abandoning yourself, well, then you can go with the flow of everything, because it's your choice of focus that will help you get through. It's about, again, showing this person and everybody that comes into your life the fierce strength that you don't need anyone. And that's what really, again, that's when the universe brings you what you need and want into your life. So we ask Spirit, well, again, why did you attract this person? Well, obviously, you had to create more security and safety, and maybe on an emotional level, you wanted this person to emotionally give you that, like, I want that emotional fulfillment as well as the security and the safety. And Spirit says this person wouldn't be able to give you none of that, none of it, because you didn't have any of it. And so now you have it. The illusion might be that this person has it, but being that they're an alcoholic, it doesn't matter if they make money. It doesn't matter what their life. It's, again, what is that they're always going to sabotage themselves. Spirit says, and you being connected to someone like that would sabotage you. So Spirit says, so you were confronted with, either be with this person or put the energy into yourself, and you said, I'm going to put it into myself. And Spirit said, bravo, freedom through faith. Calm your thoughts and rise above fear. Free yourself of all doubt by entrusting your doubts to God. Have faith in God's perfect timing and placement, and trust His will and find freedom. Meaning, like, the universe, which is God, knows exactly what you want more than you know what you want. It's like that all you have to do is believe. It's like, by having faith is how you show that you believe, right? Faith is a bridge that connects you to what is sown to what you reap to what you sow, and really Spirit said, and during that time, because you didn't have the security and the safety, and you might have been looking for this person to come in and give you that love and that emotional support as well as that security. Spirit says, no, you also had to give yourself a little bit more self-love, where really Spirit says continue to attend to your own needs by listening to your heart. Your inner essence lets you know what is good for you and what isn't, and respect your limits. Answer the requests of your body and soul. Thus, I learned to love myself. So Spirit says, because you didn't get the support, and then I feel like you didn't create yourself enough, and that made you feel like there was something wrong with you because maybe your finances weren't where they should be, or again, you didn't feel like you had a purpose, or you didn't feel like you just felt inadequate. And really, Spirit says you're not inadequate. It was all about creating that support for yourself. And that's about showing up for yourself, giving yourself that self-love through being disciplined enough to do it for yourself. And then Spirit says, then understand the universe knows, like there's nothing, you didn't miss anything, because God's perfect timing and placement means that you will be in the right place at the right time to meet your divine counterpart, that we're not in charge of that person or when that person comes in, Spirit says. However, you are allowed to say, this is what I want, and hold that in your heart and hold that in your mind and know that you're deserving of it. Again, freedom through faith, and to understand, I love myself enough to know that I'm deserving of that. So I'm open to what the universe is going to bring me, and in its perfect time and place. That's when the universe will bring me my perfect person. So I don't have to settle for less. I can go with the flow with grace. I don't have to be rebellious about it or make you feel bad or belittle you because you're on a low vibration. I mean, that this person's on a low vibration, and the Spirit says, and you're never allowed to do that. Not allowed to do that. It's about forgiveness, even though it's hard. So again, it takes fierce strength, but that's what you show, because they have brighter horizons. Again, future filled with opportunities. Spirit says, are you going to look at this person, or are you going to look to the new opportunities, to the new beautiful things that you just earned from passing this spiritual test? Spirit says self-love means you choose yourself, because the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. Be true to yourself, love yourself, and understand that the universe always wants to bring you what you desire. As long as you're not hurting anyone, and as long as you're in the alignment of love, being in alignment of love. Spirit says you need to get there in order for me to bring you that. I didn't forget, but it's not that person. It's not this person that we did the reading on, Spirit saying, because they're not healed. It doesn't mean that they don't love. They do. That's the way that they love them. So I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated. I'll talk to you guys soon.